Okay, in this video, we're going to look at completing the square when a, the coefficient of x squared, is greater than 1. In the previous video, we looked at when the coefficient of x squared was 1. But in this one, the coefficient of x squared is greater than 1, right? Now, of course, to complete the square, we are going from this, the standard form of a quadratic, to the form a by x plus h squared plus k. All right. Now, in order to complete the square, the coefficient of x squared has to be 1. In order to use the rules or the steps, it has to be 1. So what we do is we factor out the coefficient of x squared here. So since it's 2, I'm only gonna do it for the first two terms. You can do it for the entire expression, but I find it easier to just do it for the first two terms, right? So if I factor 2 out of here, it'll be 2. I'm going to use square brackets. 2 could go into 2x squared times, because 2 times x squared is 2x squared, right? And then 2 could go into minus 4x minus 2x times. I close my square brackets and I leave 5 on the outside. I'm not doing anything with the 5 as yet. And now, because within the square brackets, the coefficient of x squared is 1, I can go ahead and complete the square. So I keep 2 on my square brackets, and then I start to complete the square. So I take x, I take half of whatever b is. So b here is 2, right? So half of 2 is 1. So this will be x minus 1 all to be squared. And then you minus that 1 squared from the whole thing. All right, close your square brackets, bring down the 5. We're not doing anything with him as yet. And now we simplify what's inside of the brackets here. So 2, keep your square brackets, x minus 1 squared. Now 1 squared is 1, so this will just become 1. All right, close your square brackets, bring down your 5. And now you can remove the square brackets by multiplying 2 throughout. So multiply 2 by this, by the brackets. So this would give you 2 by x minus 1 all to be squared, and then 2 times negative 1, which is negative 2. And now you bring down the plus 5. At this point, I will add him. I'm calling him a him. Anyway, so this first part is done. 2x minus 1 squared minus 2 plus 5 is 3, positive 3. All right, so this is in the completed square form, a by x plus h squared plus k, where in this one, a is 2, h is negative 1. You have to take the sign of it, negative, so h is negative 1, and k is 3. All right? So when you have an expression where the coefficient of x squared is greater than 1, you have to make it 1 by factoring that coefficient out. All right, let's look at another one. Say I have 3x squared plus 5x plus 7. All right? Okay, so 3x squared plus 5x plus 7. Again, the coefficient of x squared here is 3. So I need to make that 1. And to do that, I will factor the 3 out. So I put 3 on the outside. I use my square brackets. And I say, well, 3 into 3x squared will just be x squared. 3 times x squared will give you 3, x squared. And then 3, if you have to factor 3 out here, it means you're dividing 5x by 3, right? So 5 divided by 3 is the same as saying 5 over 3x. Close your square brackets, bring down the 7. All right, now within these brackets, the coefficient of x squared is 1. So I could go ahead and complete the square within the square brackets, right? So I keep 3 on the outside, keep my square brackets. I take x, I take half of 5 over 3. Well, half of 5 over 3 is what? 5 times 1 is 5, 3 times 2 is 6. So half of 5 over 3 is 5 over 6 squared. And then as you know, when you're completing the square, you have to minus that 5 over 6 squared as well. All right. you close your brackets and you bring down your 7. You're not doing anything to that 7 as yet. All right, let's simplify. So 3 still on the outside, x plus 5 over 6 squared. This is already half of the completed square format done. We just have to simplify this 5 over 6 squared. So when you're squaring a fraction, you square the numerator. 5 squared is 25, and then you square the denominator. 6 squared is 36. Close your brackets, add your 7 on the outside. And now I could finally distribute the 3 throughout to remove the square brackets. So 3 times this whole thing would be 3 by x plus 5 over 6 all to be squared. And then 3 times 25 over 36. Let me just come on the side here and do that. 3 times, of course, you could use your calculator. 3 times 25 over 36. So 3 into 3 is 1, and 3 into 36 is 12. So 3 times 25 over 36 is 25 over 12. So this would be minus 25 over 12. All right, and now finally you bring down your plus 7, and now in the final line, you're going to add the 7 to the minus 25 over 12. So this first part is completed. This will be 3 by x plus 5 over 6 squared minus 25 over 12 plus 7 is actually plus 4 and 11 over 12, right? So you could leave it as a as a mixed number. You could change it to an improper fraction. You could write this as a decimal. It doesn't matter. It's still going to be the same number, right? So this is in a completed square format where a here is 3, h is 5 over 6, and k is 4 and 11 over 12. All right, so let's look at one more example. Say we have 7x squared minus 14x minus 9. And we need that in the form a by x plus h squared plus k, right? So again, you cannot completely square unless the coefficient of x squared is 1. So to make the coefficient of x squared 1 here, we have to factor out the 7, right? So this would be 7. Use square brackets. 7 into 7x squared is x squared. And then 7 into minus 14x will be minus 2x, right? 7 times minus 2x will give you minus 14x. Close your square brackets, bring down your minus 9 on the outside. We're not doing anything there as yet. And now within those square brackets, I can completely square. So I keep 7 on the square brackets until I'm done. I will go ahead and complete the square now. You take x, you take half of this, half of 2, which is 1. So x minus 1 squared, and you minus that 1 squared as well from that whole thing. Close your square brackets, bring down the minus 9. All right, so let's simplify. This would be 7 by x minus 1 squared. 1 squared is 1. All right, and now finally we can distribute the 7 throughout to remove the square brackets. So 7 times x minus 1 will be 7 by x minus 1 squared. And then 7 times minus 1 will be minus 7. All right, now you could bring down your minus 9 and you could finally simplify. So 7 by x minus 1 squared is the first part of the completed square format. And then minus 7 minus 9 is negative 16. So this is in the form, let's just recall the form again, a by x plus h squared plus k. In this case, a, the coefficient is the coefficient of x squared, which is 7. H is minus 1. You need to put the minus 1 there because it wouldn't just be 1, it's going to be minus 1. You have to take the sign of it. So h is minus 1 and k is negative 16. And that's it.